Hi everyone, it's Nikki and welcome back to my channel. I like to create anime spreads while I talk about anime in this channel, but today I'll show you all how to start your own anime journal, especially if you're broke, like I was. Anime journaling as a hobby looks pretty expensive on the surface. I've seen a lot of videos on how to start an anime journal and they all say you only need a pen and a journal to start, but let's be real, most of you probably want to make these kind of spreads and you're so ready to buy a bunch of stickers, memo pads, washi tapes and all that shit until you realize how fucking expensive of a hobby it is. But it doesn't have to be. I'm gonna contradict myself right now. You do need more than just a pen and a journal to start. But hear me out, okay? Hold on. You just need the things I'm gonna talk about in this video. Firstly, what kind of spreads do you want to create? Do you like the maximalistic look or are you a minimalistic girly? Or boy, I don't know. Or do you gravitate towards the middle? Editing Nikki will show you examples of maximalistic and minimalistic and anything in between spreads so you can decide which one you like the best. But you can just look up anime journal on Instagram and screenshot the ones you like. If you gravitate towards minimalistic spreads, you're lucky. You don't need to have the video. But stick around if you want some more insight. Also, I want the views. So yeah, stay. There aren't really any rules on how to use an anime journal. It's your journal, so do whatever the fuck you want with it. What to write about? I don't know, whatever the fuck you want. You can write about the spread, anime or show, the art style, or whatever comes to mind. Or you can just skip the whole writing part altogether. I already have an anime journal. You'll already know that if you've watched my other videos. I'm literally only starting another one so I can use up all the excess pictures I have, the piles of scrap paper and brochures. And also, I want this journal to be experimental, where I get to just try other styles as well. There are many types of journals. You can technically use whatever you want or whatever suits your needs. There are journals with spirals, binded hardcover or softcover journals, journals in which the paper is grid, lined, dotted, or completely blank. But I've got only one rule that I need you all to follow. Don't buy those super cheap notebooks that the only thing keeping it together are just two staplers. I mean, you could probably make it work if you want to. I just find binded journals better because they stay flat all the time, making it so much easier to journal. Unless you've journaled quite a bit in it and it's chunky, making it difficult to journal in. Yeah. If the price of binded journals scares you, don't worry boo, I found cheap alternatives just for you. Journals from Flying Tiger. Not sure where else Flying Tiger is available, but you can easily find a journal in a Flying Tiger store. They're like max 5 euros each, and I think it's a steal considering how much more expensive its counterparts are. Alternatively, if you can't find a cheap binded journal, then you can just use any type of spiral journals. I guess the only problem with those would be that the two pages aren't connected. I personally prefer making 2-page spreads, so it wouldn't really suit me, but a lot of people use them regardless. Oh, and one last thing, binders. I've seen a lot of people use binders too. I feel like half the community uses binders. They're basically like spiral notebooks, but you can actually take the paper out and journal outside of the binder for more ease. I've never used binders before, but it's an option if you're interested. Okay, let's talk about paper. It doesn't matter how thin or thick the paper is. Either way, you're just gonna glue shit on it. But if you're gonna write a lot and you're worried about ghosting, just keep a page if you want to, or look out for journals that are at least over 100 grams or whatever that thing is called. Anything under will goes to the paper, so take note of that. Now, grid, lined, dotted, or blank. The popular option would either be grid or dotted. They make journaling a tad bit easier, especially if you want to write in it and you don't want your writing to end up all wonky as it would with a blank page. But blank paper is fine too, especially if you don't plan to write in it. Dotted is more low-key, that's why I personally prefer it. Lined, however, not so much. Unless you plan to mostly write in yours, then you should definitely go for lined. One piece of advice though, whether it's dotted, lined, or grid, make sure the lines, dots, or whatever aren't too dark because I feel like it distracts from the whole spread. That's just a pet peeve of mine. For my own anime journal, I'll try something new for once and use a spiral journal. I wanted it to be blank, but I don't own one in the size that I want, so yeah. Oh, right, sizes. The most popular ones are the A5 journals. Choose whatever you want though. I've seen people use B6 journals which are slightly smaller than an A5. My other current anime journal is an A5 size, but it's a bit skinnier than a usual A5. I don't really think that matters, I just wanted to point that out. Okay, moving on to other materials, pens and markers. Controversial opinion, but ballpoint pens are fine too, bro. Can't recommend any cheap ink pen. I know ink pens are the most popular when it comes to journaling, but cheap options pencils are just bad. It will either smudge really easily with your hand, and sometimes they barely let out any ink. Plus, they finish way too fast compared to normal ballpoint pens. If I had to recommend ink pens though, it would be the Pentel Energy Liquid Gel Ink Pen. That's a long name, what the fuck? It would be the Pentel Energy Liquid Gel Ink Pen and the Pilot G-Tech pens. They're on the pricier side, but they're such good quality. My ballpoint pen recommendation would be anything from Faber-Castell. They're really good quality. Not those though, don't buy those. Oh, and if you've got Muji in your country, their ballpoint pens are amazing. I bought mine as well as the notebook I'm using when I went to the Philippines for vacation. Sadly, Muji doesn't exist in Greece, so yeah. Oh, now you want colorful pens? You don't need them. If you already have colored pencils, use those. If you want glittery pens, please don't buy Jelly Roll pens. I know they're really popular, but they're so expensive. I'm sure you can find cheap glittery pens, but they won't be able to show up on colored paper as a Jelly Roll pen would. But that's fine. You don't need them. Again. But if you really want one, get one white Sakura Jelly Roll in size 10. You can use the white for literally anything. To highlights, to draw on your lettering or whatever. I'm saying size 10 because size 8 isn't as juicy. I know you guys have seen me use these fancy Tombow brush pens for calligraphy, but I'm not gonna recommend them. They're expensive as fuck. You can use these instead. And these. And also these. Basically, to write in calligraphy as you would if you had a normal brush pen, you need those cheap markers usually made for kids with a triangle shape, kind of like a house shape tip. You're basically using the tip for the thin strokes and the flat sides for the thick strokes. Hold your marker like you normally would and try to use the tip for the thin strokes. Use as little pressure as possible. And then when you go down for the thick strokes, put pressure on it or move it slightly to the sides. Like with any normal brush pen, this also needs a bit practice. Drawing thin and thick strokes continually with like a zigzag is great practice. I don't know if I'm making sense, but you can see what I'm doing in the video, so yeah. By the way, you can even letter with a watercolor brush. It's a lot harder than a normal brush pen, in my opinion, but because it's watercolors, you can literally mix whatever colors you want. I recommend this brush. It is a little expensive, but you literally need only that one. It's so versatile. You don't have to do calligraphy if you don't want to, obviously, but you can just trace fonts. I like using Canva to trace. I usually take a screenshot of the title I want to trace, flip the image, layer a piece of trace paper on top of my tablet or phone, whatever you have. Trace it with a pencil, preferably a 2B grade, but a normal HB should do the work just fine. And then I use the back of my scissors to get all the graphite onto the paper. I have like 2 sheets of fonts that I use the most, so they're ready to go and I don't have to do that whole process again. Here are some fonts that I like and use if you're gonna download Canva, and here's a site that I use as well for other fonts. But once again, you don't have to do any of that either. There are many people who completely skip this step. Also, tracing paper is not mandatory. Just use a normal printer paper and put your phone or tablet to max brightness. Try to keep your hand off your screen because the image will move around if you've got it there. But you can always just use a normal notebook and put it between your palm and the screen so your palm doesn't make contact with the screen. You've now got most of the materials you're gonna need. But now you have to print some pictures. Sorry, what? You don't have a printer? Well, that's no problem at all. You don't need that. Okay, first of all, you need to find pictures. I prefer using Pinterest to find all the pictures that I want, or even Google is fine, but Pinterest has a bit more variety. I basically just look up the character's name or the anime and then I type in screenshot or official art next to it. Try to stay away from fan art though, especially if you can't find the original artist to ask for permission. If you find a fan art that you really like, please ask the original artist for permission first. Unless you're not planning to post your spreads online, then print whatever the fuck you want. For those who do plan to post their spreads, there are a lot of official art out there for every anime, so try to stick to that. Oh, and images from official merch too. Anyway, let's go print. I used to print all my pictures in a print shop for pretty cheap, like 50 cents a page I think, and they're pretty close to my house. One mistake I made though, that I think would save your wallets: don't print too many pictures. A good threshold to me is if I'm making a 2-page spread, 6 to 12 pictures, making sure all the pictures fit in an A4 size page is good enough. I like to organize my pictures on Microsoft Word on my phone, but you can use Google Docs just the same. Pro tip, especially if you're gonna print at a shop, customize the margins to 1 centimeter all around so you get more space. The printer will print it just fine. Unless it doesn't, so maybe just adjust it a bit for your print shop. Also, I heard you can ask to print at your school too. If you aren't an introvert, go ask. They might be willing to print a page or two for free. If you're planning on buying a printer, I don't have any recommendations. And I don't recommend it either because this video is going budget friendly. But the printer I'm using was gifted to me and it's pretty good. I just like the convenience of being able to print at home without having to walk to a shop to do so. Plus, I can print whatever the fuck I want without any judgment. I don't know, I guess the quality of the pictures from the print shop I went to was just better. Like the lines and the colors were so crisp. Anyway, so this is how I organize my pictures on my phone. Obviously, the sizes will vary on whether you're using an A5 journal or a smaller journal, and you should also consider what you prefer. I've seen people create masterpieces using really small pictures. Personally, this is how I do it. Full body to half body pictures are about 8 to 12 centimeters in height. Square pictures are 7 centimeters. A simple screenshot of a character are about like 4 to 5 centimeters in height, and so on. If you want to see how it would look on your journal, just take a ruler, zoom in or out on the picture until you get it to the same size as it would be if it was printed. If you've got some blank space on your page, add some fun elements to add to your spreads. You can add bows, flowers, fruits, gaming consoles, anything that you want really. Moving on, old brochures, magazines, newspapers, heck, even old books that you might have laying around your house, keep them, all of them. They're literally the backbone of any kind of scrapbooking, including anime journaling. Some people like to print different elements for their spreads, but you can literally find similar elements in your brochures. Wanna add a basket of strawberries? You got those. Wanna use a laptop? Brochures. Making the Summer Hikaru diet spread? Here's some uncooked chicken. What the fuck? I have piles and piles of brochures that my mom has started calling me a witch who's hoarding all that trash. But anyway, moving on to the funnest part, in my opinion, decorating. I feel like buying a few stickers is a good investment, especially if you end up liking anime journaling and want to continue doing it. But for beginners who just want to try it out, stickers aren't a must, but there are a few cheaper alternatives out there. Again, brochures are a great alternative. And so are printables. Back when I didn't have the money to buy cute stickers, I printed a lot of printables. Anything with cute designs from other journaling accounts, I literally have printed from way back. Most of those were designed by other journal accounts to share for free. Unfortunately, a lot of those accounts whom I got the printables from are inactive. I have like 3 highlights I think on my old Instagram account of those printables, so check out my old account and you might be able to find something, like some of them might still be active. I have my own prints as well if you're interested. I designed them like way back, so feel free to check out my Instagram account. Canva also offers a bunch of elements that you can use for free. You can print them out and add them to your spreads. But if you're too impatient to cut out small printables or you simply don't have the time, you might have to buy a few stickers. When I first started, I got a pack of 100 stickers from Shein for very cheap, like it was around 8 to 10 euros I think. But Shein is notorious for stealing from other artists and other stuff, so I'm not gonna link any of the cheap stickers I found there. You will find them if you really want to buy them. AliExpress is also great for cheap stickers and stationery in general, but also a very shady company. But anyway, if you do end up buying a pack of 100 stickers, you're good. You literally won't need to buy new stickers for the next 5 years. Now, this segment is not budget friendly, but you can definitely make your money's worth. And you're going to be supporting a real artist, which is always a good thing, especially now with AI and shit. What the fuck? Plus, a lot of artists I'm gonna mention right now have a ton of discount codes and they do sales often. I bought from quite a handful of small businesses, so here are my recommendations. We've got all these artists, but I know they're hella expensive. But hear me out, you don't need to buy every single color. Just buy the white ones. Buy whatever design you want, and when it's time to journal, just use the cheap markers you have and color in the stickers. Also, you might find some pretty affordable stickers at your local stores, so go look for them. Another great alternative to deco stickers are hole punchers. They're gonna save you a ton of money in the long run, especially the circular ones. People like to use circles in their spreads, and I've always wanted to do that too, but I didn't own any circular stickers, nor did I have the money to buy them. So alternatively, I bought these circular stickers for very cheap, and I found these too. I believe these are meant to fix a tear on your binder paper, but we're gonna use them differently today. Oh, and a ruler with circles. I have no idea where I bought this from. I think I stole it from my classmate in high school by accident. But yeah, it's really handy. So thank you for not calling me out on stealing that ruler. Literally, all you have to do is to draw out a smaller circle in the sticker, color it in with whatever color you want, align your hole puncher with the circle you drew earlier, and boom, you've got circular stickers. And that's why I never bought circular stickers even after I started to make my own money, because this is so much more versatile and I love it. You can do the same with the smaller circle stickers and the smaller hole puncher. Most of the hole punchers I have are from local stores, but the circular ones are from Shein. I'll link them down below, so don't worry about that. You can also find them on AliExpress if you don't have Shein. For other little designs like the stars, flowers, and others, literally just use whatever paper you have. Color in the section you're gonna punch with the color of your choice, wait for it to dry, and just punch. Or just buy a bundle of colorful craft paper. I'm pretty sure that they're inexpensive. I like to cut around a design to give it that hollow look. It is time consuming though. Also, don't throw away the paper that you use to punch out the designs. Keep them. They're gonna be a great addition to your spreads. Unlike stickers, I feel like washi tapes are the most optional of the three. If you really want to buy, simple patterns like these are the most versatile in my opinion. And again, Shein and AliExpress have really cheap washi tapes, but don't overdo it. 1 to 2 of your favorite colors is good enough. Actually, hold on, I lied. Memo sheets are the most optional out of the three, easily replaceable with some prints and brochures. Washi tapes, stickers, and memo sheets aren't mandatory. You can just print, use brochures or whatever, or better yet, draw. If you're a busy person, skip this part. I know not everyone is skilled enough to draw their own stickers, but literally, that's just practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Plus, it's not like you're gonna be drawing people like some other people do. God damn, it's amazing how they do this. Holy shit. Respect, honestly. You can just draw stars or confetti, which I feel like are the easiest. I personally like using watercolors, but you can just use the markers or the color pencils I recommended earlier. For watercoloring, don't buy the one I'm showing you right now. I'm an artist as well, that's why I have it, but it's on the expensive side, so nah. I think any watercolor palette with a reasonable price is good. Your paper, however, has to be on the thicker side. The whole drawing thing is a whole different baggage, and I ain't teaching you how to draw right now. There are plenty of resources out there that will help you with that. Otherwise, just stick with simpler shapes. Other tools that you might need are scissors, a cutting board, an X-Acto knife, some plain old glue, and my personal favorite, tweezers. Though I'd argue tweezers aren't that important if you're not gonna use stickers in your spreads. I wouldn't really recommend a paper cutter because firstly, the good ones are always expensive, and second, you can literally do the same job with just scissors or an X-Acto knife and the cutting mat and also ruler. You can find them in stores or on Shein and AliExpress for way cheaper. I'll link the ones I have in the description, but the A5 mat is from a local store and I found this X-Acto knife on Flying Tiger. Well, I guess you could just use your mom's chopping board and knife. I used to do that. Actually, maybe don't do that. Anyway, a cutting mat and an X-Acto knife are also more precise, and it's versatile because you can just cut out small details with it. If you're a literal child watching this, just use scissors, please. I don't want to get sued. But regardless of your age, using an X-Acto knife or a box cutter is fine too, now that I think about it. But anyway, my point is, it can be dangerous sometimes, so take your time. Definitely don't rush it, because you're either gonna end up with a bad picture or an amputated finger. Any glue stick is fine, but make sure it's white or a clear glue stick, because colored glue sticks sometimes are visible. This is a bit on the fancier side of things, but if you can find it and you can afford it, buy a glue pen. The one I'm using is from Flying Tiger, so I guess it's not exactly expensive, but anyway, they're great for smaller things. Oh yeah, and one more thing, if you're gonna use a ruler to cut straight lines, please use a metallic one. You're just gonna end up cutting your ruler if it's plastic. Now that you've got all the materials that you're gonna use, it's time to put together your first anime spread. And we're gonna start with the most annoying part, at least to me, figuring out a layout. I think no matter how many supplies you have, if you don't know a few things about design, your spreads are gonna look as pretty. Again, art is subjective, and obviously do whatever the fuck you want with your journal, but stick around for this part if you want your spreads to look objectively good, you know? Or just don't follow any of the principles I'm gonna talk about, because again, they're just guidelines. You either follow them or break them. Do whatever feels right to you. That's literally what I do most of the time. Though looking at my spreads a little closely now, I have unintentionally followed all those principles. But yeah, moving on. So firstly, emphasis. Choose a picture that's gonna be the biggest or the highlight of your spread. It doesn't necessarily have to be a picture. It can be the lettering if you want. Then we've got balance and alignment. Got pictures, certain elements, or scrap paper on the very top left corner. Put similar pictures or elements or scrap paper on the bottom right corner. If you want the picture to be tilted on the right, make sure another on top of it or opposite of it to mirror that. Contrast. It's basically in the name. Use different sizes or pictures, squares or cutout of a character, different elements, etc, etc. Try not to overdo it with the elements, like think of a theme and try to stick to that. I like doing themes that's related to the character I'm making the spread for, but you don't have to do that. If you're making a spread for Sukuna and you want the theme to be like, I don't know, Hello Kitty, do that. Layering also goes here because it makes the pictures you print pop. Try to use different colors of scraps from the picture. Oh, and definitely add texture, from bubble wrap to crumpled up paper to old tags. Oh, and receipts as well. Keep those and add them to your spreads. Repetition. Again, it's in the name. Use the same elements you've chosen throughout your whole spread, like stars, or like you've drawn a few stars on one corner, do the same on the other corner, you know. Proportion. The small things can be on one side, the big stuff on the other side. Layer small scraps of paper with big pictures, or the other way around. Layer elements with pictures and so on. Movement. I did not come up with these principles myself. I just looked up design principles on the internet and one of them says movement. I don't know how to interpret that. Anyway, moving on. Lastly, white space. I usually ignore this principle in most of my spreads because I can't stand blank space, but it does make your spreads look a lot more cleaner, especially if you're going for that minimalistic look. Here's some color theory for you. Literally just take a screenshot of this and you're good. Here are some examples from my own spreads where I use different color combos for your inspiration. Okay, great. Now that we figured out the layout, it's time to memorize it so you can stick it all together. Either that or just take a picture. Sometimes I just mark where I want to put everything with a pencil. Try to apply a little glue in the middle mostly, because you're definitely gonna wanna layer some more scrap paper or whatever underneath last minute, because we're all indecisive to some degree. Sometimes I barely plan my spreads. I just plan where I want to put the pictures and I add a little glue to put everything else as I go. Others plan everything from what they're gonna use to where they're gonna put a tiny little sticker. So yeah, do you, boo. But always try to apply a little glue, because you never know, especially with the glue stick. Once you stick something, it ain't coming off. Some cheap glue tapes are more forgiving, but I didn't recommend glue sticks, so don't buy them. You can glue everything secure later once you're done and happy with the result. I usually add smaller stickers and small prints at the end so I don't get overwhelmed. But yeah, congratulations! You just created your first anime spread. But my biggest and last advice for you guys is to just get inspired and create. Follow people who create stuff you want to be able to create. Learn from them and add your own personal twist to them. I know you all are saying Rio here and you all now know exactly what's gonna come in future videos. I'm really excited to talk about Katsuyakuta and create spreads for the characters. Rio is obviously a favorite, but all the characters are just as likable. Tamshi though is so my type. Well, that's all I have to share with you guys. I pretty much spilled out all my secrets to how I create my spreads in the videos that you see. I hope you learned something new. This video was so hard to create. Like, this is probably the most effort I've ever put in a video. So thank you all so much for watching. Stay creative and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye bye!